softball tournament or whatever, if they have a number set for you, then you have to get your bat tested ahead of the tournament and have the correct sticker on there. So I'm not sure why they don't do that for every single golfer. I know it's a lot, but
it would be tough to actually put it on the machine and all
they
that
got
stuff.
enough money, enough resources. They have enough golf shops around the country where they can make this happen quite easily.
Does NASCAR test every car every week?
No.
Okay.
No, they'll take a couple of them. Same way with the drivers. The golf club that we're talking about after the race for R&D, research and development. And if anyone breaks the rules, they will have to answer to those. But I think it's a lot easier to check one piece of equipment, which is the driver, compared to all of the pieces of equipment that you're talking about on a NASCAR race car.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the craziest part to this to me is just the fact that these guys actually wear down the face of their driver to make it more thin and more trampoliny.
Seems like a paradox,
right? Yeah, I mean, because the thinner it is, the more it reacts to that golf ball. But yeah, I mean, the whole Rory situation has been interesting. Hopefully, we see what next week. I'm sure is. Do you know what next week is, Keith?
Some crappy tournament before the U.S.
That's
Open.
what I was going to say.
The SCT.
yes. And then we get the U.S. Open, which means Father's Day is right around the corner. Make sure you visit Golf Plus for all your Father's Day needs for the golfer in your family. All right, Keith, let's jump into it because I know I just about wasted about 10 minutes here of your segment.
Oh, that's okay. The other thing I just wanted to real quickly, and I'm sorry, actually it is not some crappy tournament. I apologize. It's the RBC Canadian Open.
Yeah. Careful with the Canadian.
ECT, even crappier turn. I'm just kidding.
Watch out for the Terry Tates from the security guards.
Did you see the announcement about the LIV contracts where
I have not.
A lot of these guys' deals are coming up. I think DJ's expires this year.
DJ just needs to retire and stop playing golf.
Is it 2 years? But they are not going to offer the upfront money that they did before, which again just gets me into the PGA Tour. They're in the winning position at this point, and they're just waiting this thing out because it sounds like these guys are going to be begging to come back in a year or two, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You would think so. I mean, if their contracts are expiring, I mean, they're not going to have any money to play, golf anymore. Obviously, they're not going to be allowed to play, was what it sounds like. But, hopefully, maybe that's kind of the first bowling pin falling over to bring some kind of, continuity back to the world of professional golf.
I hope so.
Nice.
Again, this would be an event, and it's a reminder, actually, we're at, Jack Nicklaus's place, Muirfield Village in Ohio. If you look at the defending champions, there's not very many in the field because John Rahm on the LIV Tour won. He's defected. Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson. There's all these guys that have won this event just since 2010.
Yeah.
Who are not in this field, but that does not mean it's not a great field. Everybody is basically here, with the exception of Rory McIlroy, who we discussed, the other being Billy Horschel, who just had, surgery. I believe Bryson is the only other guy in the top, 20 in the world rankings right now who's not there. And how great is what Bryson is doing in the majors, that he's still, in the top 20 in the official world golf rankings, doing basically getting points and 4 events a year. But this is one of my favorite tracks. I know that we disagreed on, how we feel about Quail Hollow hosting major championships. I actually would love to see Muirfield Village eventually, host a U.S. Open. I think that would be a pretty cool thing. I understand that it's already this marquee event, but, we've seen it Quail Hollow now with Justin Thomas and Scotty Scheffler winning. I think if they did a major at this venue, we'd get a similar result where one of the best players in the world would win. The things you need to know about Muirfield Village more than anything other is there was a renovation in 2020. They lengthened the course slightly. It was already a 7,400-yard golf course. Now it's 7,500 and change. They redid some of the green complexes. But overall, this tournament has played much tougher since the change. Now, they have, I think, really got to where every year it's 4 to 5 inches of rough, which, yes, it's as bad as you think. If you think about your golf ball falling in 4 or 5 inches of rough, it's pretty tough. But what's interesting about Muirfield Village is these are some of the widest fairways on tour. They are, I believe, the 21st most widest fairways on the PGA Tour year in and year out. And yet this was the fourth hardest event last year, and the fifth the year before. This is a course that you have to get the ball in the fairway. We talked about, there's 4 par 5s. Those are the only 4 holes that players consistently make birdies on. They're the only ones that the field played under par last year, and it's been that way basically since the remodel in 2020. Yet we really talked about there's a big question for these guys. Do you go for the green on these? Because, yes, you can reach them. They'll be having 230 to 270-yard shots into these par 5s, but they're surrounded by water. They're surrounded by 5-inch rough, and a lot of players probably would be better off just laying it up and hitting a wedge into it. It's going to be very interesting to see what guys take what approach. And that, again, this is very similar to a major championship venue. 51% of the approaches are going to come from 175-plus yards. Remember, last week was one of those rare examples at Colonial where it was a wedge fest, right? We had a lot of short to middle irons. We're back to long irons into the green. I really leaned into this week guys who play difficult golf courses well. I think it's imperative that you're a good long iron player. I focused on 175 and further on approaches. Any course that the winning score has only been 16 under or better twice in the last 15 years, I'm looking at guys that are good at bogey avoidance, guys that can scramble well. Three-putt avoidance is very important to me because you can't be giving away strokes to the field by hitting a green in regulation and then three-putting. And these greens are so firm and so fast, that can happen. So I'm looking at players that, again, excel at irons, excel scrambling, don't make a lot of mistakes, and then they play par 5s well because you have to get after those 4 par 5s. You think I missed anything, Ryan, or is that kind of what we discussed last night and kind of what we need to be looking at this week?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, one of the really challenging things about Muirfield is you've got a lot of water by the greens, and your complexes are so elevated that you miss greens. It's just your strokes gained around the greens is another one I think that is a big one to look at if you're looking at stats before making your decision, because these guys are going to miss greens. I mean, the fact that there's only 4 holes that play under par for this tournament is wild. So that means these guys are missing greens and they're not getting up and down. So I think you put a premium on these guys with these fantastic short games. And, there's a 50% chance of rain on Friday. And I think it has been raining quite a bit up there leading into this tournament. So guys that can bomb it off the tee, but not with the roll in the fairway as well, which may actually play into the player's hands, because when the fairways are firm and fast and you're playing a golf course with this kind of rough, your ball runs through the fairway and you're in deep rough. That's going to make it really challenging. You can be a foot in the rough and be absolutely dead and have to pitch out. So maybe that it's soft and will continue to get soft, maybe plays into players' hands because you're not going to have as many balls rolling through the fairways into the rough. But the complex,
especially with the wider fairways, right? Because it just makes them even wider. And again, just to reiterate how tough this course is, those par 5s are the only holes that play under par year after year.
Wild.
But yet they are still the 7th hardest set of par 5s on the PGA Tour. So even the easiest holes that these guys are consistently playing under par is one of the tougher set of par 5s anywhere on the PGA Tour. So this is the kind of golf that I know I love to watch. I know you do. We call it tough but fair, right?
Yeah.
Where they're not trying to embarrass the guys, but at the same time, you will be punished for making mistakes. And to me, that's the way really good golf courses should be.
Absolutely. And on the flip side of that, you get rewarded for hitting really good golf shots. And that's kind of really everything you want out of a golf course. The fact that this golf course is over 7,500 yards and is a par 72 is insane. You see a lot of other courses on tour that play this length but are a 71 or a 70, and it's a big golf course. But and Jack's wanting these guys to be tested, and that's what they did with this renovation and when it was originally designed in 74 as well. So fun tournament. Kind of feels like a major atmosphere. Is a cut in this one, right? But the small, teeny tiny cut.
Well, and it's not even a set number. It is literally just anyone within 10 shots of the leader after 36 holes automatically makes the weekend. So it could be a cut where nobody misses the cut. It could be a cut where 20 guys miss the cut.
Yeah. So when you're doing your betting, which we're going to get into here in the next segment, you got to take that little bit of a cut line into consideration. That would be wild if everybody made the cut and we're in 10 strokes lead, which could very easily happen. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. Keith Fleming on the line. You can follow him on Twitter /X, KEITHFLEMING. We'll be right back with some betting card and DFS action.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and 86 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour coming out of the southwest. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with lows around 79. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning but otherwise likely thunderstorms and a temperature near 84. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 83 and likely thunderstorms and moderate rain. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Hi folks, it's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, she has over 20 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within a week, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into a new setting and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 50 years.
Broadcasting from the Golf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. Spreads, picks, and parlays. Get the breaking news, insider angles, and expertise so you can run your game.
I told y'all to run that.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Wednesday. We've got Keith Fleming on the line. You can check out his articles, cheat sheets, all that wonderful stuff at fantasysixpack.net. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter /X at Keith Fleming, KEITHFLEMING. The big question for DFS this week, Keith, Scheffler or not to Scheffler? That is indeed the question.
I don't think it's a question. Again, for cash games, which are single entries, double ups, what I recommend people doing, and literally all that I do, we had this moniker 2 years ago when CMC was having his incredible season and his price kept going up and up, that there's 3 constants in life: death, taxes, playing CMC, and cash games. And I feel like Scottie Scheffler is now in the same vein in golf. I'm going to play him in DFS again this week. The real question was whether or not to bet him at the disgusting,
that's a big
price
no
that he
me.
is. That's a big no for me, too. I don't want to get in the habit, even though you could argue this week is actually probably smarter than last week where I did bet him. You don't want to get into the habit of betting somebody at 2-3 to 1. I think Joe mentioned a very good thing to look into if you have the ability to look on like DK Sportsbooks and others and make those wagers of basically winners without Scotty Scheffler in the field.
Yeah.
I know he mentioned last night that, somebody like Morikawa was, 16 to 1, say, to win on DK Sportsbook. With Scheffler, he's 14 to 1 without. That's something to look into. But I am absolutely playing Scheffler in, cash games. I feel like that it's even easier to do this week than most weeks because there is a lot of good plays from kind of that low 8K range to, say, 6,500. But, again, on top of just Scheffler being the best player in the world, if you look at what it takes to succeed here, first of all, he is the defending champion. I will say, though, that Tiger is the only person ever to win consecutive events at Muirfield Village. He actually won 3 in a row. No other player has gone back-to-back, but Scheffler has finished third, and first his last 3 starts here. He is second on tour in scrambling. He's first in par 5 scoring. He's second in strokes gained tee to green. And then he's arguably the best long iron player on the planet. So, all the things that we described it takes to succeed at Muirfield Village, no surprise, it plays right into Scotty Scheffler's hands. So I think he's definitely somebody that you want to use. I am anchoring him in one of my DK official lineups. The next guy in there is Siwoo Kim. He's 8,300. Again, a guy that fits the mold here. Siwoo Kim is 14th strokes gained tee to green. He's very good at scrambling, 38th on tour. He doesn't make a lot of bogeys. He's top 30 in that. And he's another guy that is tied with Scotty Scheffler for first in par 5 scoring, and he's 9th in the field in long iron play. And he has finished 18th or better every year since they did the remodel in 2020. The one guy in this lineup that is a little risky, but I like him this week, is Sam Burns. He is just such a good putter. He's first right now on tour in strokes gained putting, and these are the kind of greens that we know that. Like the guys that are elite putters, they can get on these greens and start making everything. And Burns hits it obviously a mile. He's somebody who plays par 5s very well. He's 36 in par 5 scoring. If he has a good iron week, I expect him to be in contention. And I think he's worth the risk, but there is a lot of good plays if you want to substitute here with like Fitzpatrick, Theegala, all those guys in that range. Next up, I feel very good about, and I think maybe the best value this week is Andrew Novak. He's 7,100. This is somebody that enters this event on fire. Like, he has finished top 15 in 5 of his last 6 starts, 4 top 10s in that span. Another guy that fits the bill here. Like, he is 9th in par 5 scoring, 21st in scrambling. He's 30th tee to green, and one thing I really like, because he's 53rd in bogey avoidance, which is not great, but he's 13th in 3-putt avoidance. So I don't think he's going to, if he can hit his irons the way he's very capable of, he should be able to contend here, and he's obviously got a lot of confidence. Next in this lineup, again, a guy that we've been riding and to a lot of success is Bud Cauley, 6,800. I know he did not have a great PGA Championship 2 weeks ago, but he bounced right back last week with a 3rd-place finish in Texas. And he's just somebody that is so good at everything. Now, my one concern is he is 95th in par 5 scoring. He needs to take advantage of the par 5s. But other than that, 20th in strokes gained tee to green. He's top 20 in irons from 175 yards and further into the green. He's top 25 in scrambling. He's even top 50 in bogey avoidance. So I feel good about that. And then Ryan Fox is the last guy at 6,500. We know he won at Myrtle Beach a couple of weeks ago, followed that up with a very good finish at the PGA Championship. And he is one of the better players in the field. Again, from that 175 yards and further into the green numbers, he hits it a mile. So the length of this golf course will be no issues. It's a big reason why he's top 25 or birdie or better conversion rate. He's top 50 in par 5 scoring, top 50 in strokes gained tee to green. And again, he's 15th in 3-putt avoidance, so I think that can keep him in this event. I did do a lineup without Scheffler. Do you want me to go over it?
Yeah, because I was actually going to ask you that, because I did one with Scheffler and one without Scheffler. So I was going to ask what you did without him, just to see.
So Joe really convinced me that Morikawa needs to be in a lineup. And I think that if you're anchoring with somebody other than Scheffler, him or Cantley are the guys that you want to do that. He's 9,900, so that's where I'm going with there. Great record here. He plays these kind of golf courses really well, and I think that the rough will kind of negate some of the issues that he has, because he doesn't have the firepower a lot of these other, Schefflers and Rorys and, Brysons of the world do. But I think when you add real penal rough, that actually helps him make up that deficit. Sepp Straka at 8,800, I don't understand the disrespect. He's 40-1 to win. He's plus 650 to top 5, and he's 8,800 on DK. And if you want to count, what's his name, Ben Griffin, I guess we can, because he won a team event and obviously won his own individual event. Griffin, Straka, Rory, and Scheffler are the only guys on tour with multiple wins. The difference, no offense to Griffin, is that Straka's won 2 very big events this year. And he's just, again, the same thing I was saying about Scheffler, it goes towards with Straka. He is 7th in the field in long irons. He's 9th in strokes gained tee to green. He's also tied for 1st in par 5 scoring, and he's 5th in bogey avoidance. So this is a golf course that he should play very well. Same thing for Daniel Berger, 8,600. There's a lot of metrics that show that Berger is just basically waiting to get his first win in quite some time. He's 4 strokes gained tee to green, 16th in scrambling, 19th bogey avoidance. He is 2nd in the field, and long irons are that 175 yards or further into the greens, and top 40 in par 5 scoring. So I think that plays well for him. Fitzpatrick is the one, again, that's a little risky, but has such a great track record here. He's had top 10s his last 2 starts at Muirfield Village, 3 of his last 4, showing some signs of life after a really bad start to his season. He typically eats up par 5 courses, typically eats up courses that you have to drive it straight and far, which just definitely fits that bill. And then I have J.J. Spawn at 7,500, who's another guy that just not a lot of people are talking about, but he fits the bill for this course. He's top 25 in par 5 scoring. He's 31st in bogey avoidance. He's somebody that's 12th in strokes gained tee to green, and he's been playing really good golf. And then again, I'm putting Andrew Novak at 7,100 in that lineup as well, because I just feel like that confidence is such a big part of the game of golf. We know that. And Novak is playing at another level right now. And I really do. It would not surprise me if he ends up winning even a big event like this one sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's coming. There's no doubt. No doubt. And, you got 2 choices. You can go Scheffler at anchor, or I like the Morikawa play. This golf course just fits him to a T. So, yeah, and you can check out all that information right there at fantasysixpack.net. All right, Keith. Betting winners seems to be a little bit tougher nowadays with how dominant the top has been. What about some of those prop bets? If you were to live in actually trying to make some money on betting, would you be living in that top 5? Or, how do you feel about the prop bets this week coming up at Memorial?
There's real value in the top 5 plays. Don't get me wrong. Like, you got, say, Siwoo Kim and Berger at plus 650. Same for Straka. Novak, who, again, I really like. He's had a ton of top 5s here lately. He's 10-1, but I really like the top 10 and top 20 odds. Bud Cauley is plus 550 to top 10. To me, that feels very plausible with the way he's playing, especially if the scoring is what we've seen in recent years. Like Scheffler was only -8 last year winning this event. I think the closer to par the winning score is, the better that is for somebody like Bud Cauley. But, I love the top 20 value. There's 3 guys that I have on my betting card for Fantasy Six Pack this week. One of them, no surprise, is Bud Cauley. at plus 225. But Stefan Yager, who, we've been talking about a lot lately, both on Two Off the Tee and then, during my segments on this show, he fits the bill for this course. He hits it plenty far off the tee, really good around the greens. You're getting plus 250 odds on him. And then again, Ryan Fox plus 275 to top 20 in the PGA Championship in a much bigger field. He finished just outside, I believe he was 22nd or 24th at that, coming off the win. I think this venue sets up well for him, and you're getting almost 3-1 odds on that. I think that in an event like this, because remember, there's only 72 players, the top 20 and top 10 props are really where it's at, because they're only having to beat, like for a top 20, 52 guys in the field to get that. So when you're getting, more than 2 or even in some of these cases 3-1 odds on guys you really like, I would rather, take that bet, maybe up my units a little bit rather than, take some of these guys to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because we're losing week in and week out. The better Scheffler does, the less value we're going to get each week. And It's just, unless you've got, a ton of funds to be betting a lot of money. But the problem is, like last week, if you drop all those units on Scheffler to win and he doesn't go on to win, now you're in a worse predicament than if you just would have laid some, smaller bets on these props. Because the props are where you're going to find value, like you just explained. And, again, I like to live in those prop worlds as well, just because, anytime I see Scheffler, now if Scheffler's not in the field, that's a different story, but we certainly don't see that too often. We've seen it a few times, and that's when you can find some value in the winner's circle. But I agree with you. I think Stefan Yager at plus 250, that's the same odds here in Hard Rock Bets as well, is absolutely fantastic. As again, you only got to beat about 50 players in the field. They were just showing the ticket prices for this Game 5 in Madison Square Garden, and like 10 rows up was like 13 grand. That's a while. These playoff games in the NBA are pretty much like trying to go to the Super Bowl with these certain prices. You can sit at the very, very top for $628. The very, very top of MSG. Fun fact, the subway runs under MSG. And when you go to Madison Square Garden on the subway, that's how you get in. And then you come up and walk up to MSG. Didn't mean to go kind of way off topic there, Keith. But but
to go have your heart broken, like, I respect that as a Falcons fan who has paid a lot of money over the years for season tickets and, tickets to individual games and stuff. Like, much respect to the Knicks fans who probably are going to a funeral for Game 5. I hope not, because I think this has been an exciting series. All the games have been fun to watch, and I hope you talked about your masterful parlay that you hit last night.
We did.
And it turned into a sweat that it shouldn't have been. Goodness gracious.
Shouldn't have been is right, but I kept texting more people because I was trying to put the jinx on it that it would actually happen. I'm like, this isn't going to happen. Can you believe this? I probably text 5 or 6 different people, and I felt like that kind of. And you were ahead of me, Keith. Your time was probably 10, 15 seconds ahead of me. So when you text me, I was like, oh, it's coming. And then it came right there on the screen.
And I was way behind y'all because my stream just kept on doing circles. It was repeating the same thing over and over again.
That's no fun. That is no fun. But
and that's like when they whittled it down to like a 4 or 6 leads. Like, come on,
I can't tell what's going on. Yeah,
right?
No doubt. That seems to always happen. But yeah, some exciting stuff there. And of course, it looks like the Thunder's NBA championship to lose, but that's why they play the game. But coming up here,
can you imagine the NBA offices going, all right, we've got Luka and LeBron in LA and all of these fun teams, and wait a minute, what's our finals? OKC versus Indy? Probably not what they were wanting.
Yeah, I mean, at least you got enough superstars on these teams and enough storylines.
Basketball fans, but this is a guarantee not going to bring in the eyeballs. To say if it was, I don't know, Knicks, Lakers, or Knicks, Nuggets. It just, or even Boston. It's both Indy and OKC. I'm very curious to see what the ratings are for this finals if that ends up being what it is.
Yeah, we shall see. And, it's certainly looking like that. Both teams with a 3-1 lead with a chance to close it out the next two nights. But I agree with you. I think the Knicks-Pacers series has been an absolute blast. And to have David here being a Pacers fan, and, of course, Stock A being a Pacers fan as well. It's kind of fun to feel the excitement through the fans of these particular teams. So it's been a lot of fun.
The Pacers now, man. I didn't at the beginning of this playoffs. They are really good. And Halliburton is, I think, proven over the last couple of weeks. He is a top 10 player in the NBA, and it's crazy to think how many teams passed on him in the draft. The fact that the Kings traded him only a year into, his career, and, through Indiana, like, it's rare to get a superstar like that the way that they did, and good for them and good for their fans.
Well, and I think, too, the whole overrated thing voted by his fans, maybe it was the opposite. Maybe it was underrated and not overrated. So, he's certainly...
I think that was jealousy about the Olympic team. I really do. If you look, him and Tatum both were on that list, and those are the last two guys that kind of got, added to the quote-unquote new dream team. And I really do think that a lot of players were just being haters, right? They were upset that, Halliburton and Tatum got those spots and not them.
Yeah, no, makes perfect sense. Hey, Keith, remind everybody before we take off where they can find all your fantastic articles, cheat sheets, all the stuff to help them make money.
Absolutely. If you honestly just go to my Twitter/X page. That's at Keith Fleming, KEITHFLEMMING. I post everything there. Or you can go to fantasy6pack.net. They've actually now, under the golf section, got all four of them laid out where you can easily go through them. Now, some of the stuff is now behind a paywall, but you're talking about basically $10 a month to get access to all that, plus all the fantasy football cheat sheets, etc. And if you use the code F6PPGA, you will get 15% off of that. So it's not even $10 at that point. Yeah. So we would appreciate it. You obviously will then get access to the Discord, and you will learn that, you join that. I'm happy to answer any and all questions pretty much at all hours, as long as it's, at like 3 a.m. when I need my beauty sleep.
No doubt. Well, Keith, we appreciate you jumping on with us, and always keep up the good work, my friend, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Appreciate you. You guys have a great one. Take care, David. See you around.
Later, buddy.
See you, Keith. That was Keith Fleming, our golf DFS and betting expert. When we get back, our final segment of this Wednesday afternoon.
The ride home just got more dangerous. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for the afternoon underdogs.
One of the more underrated, fast as lightning. You know that he's got perseverance.
Weekdays 4 to 6 live from the CBC Construction Studio. Reactions, rants, and your calls at 850-215-6290. The afternoon underdogs are live and local. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting is a fifth-generation contracting company based right here out of Bay County. TK Vandy's expertise in commercial and residential roofing, as well as a design, build general contractor, set them aside as a versatile and fresh alternative to achieve your construction needs. Contact TK Vandy Roofing, 850-866-9908, or email support@tkvandy.com. They can't wait to help you.
Get ready for your next adventure and discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia today. Check out the 2025 SUV family. The road is yours. Take a test drive and see the all-new features that elevate any adventure. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage or a 2025 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind that you can trust. Bill Bird Kia is the home of that 20-year, 200,000 7-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. See us today.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage and a 2025 Sorento with $1,748 per month per 1,000 financed in 60 months. Qualities limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 6/2/25.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're gonna have a talk. Tell me what you know.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Final segment of this Wednesday afternoon. Some breaking news out of the NHL world that may affect the Western Conference Finals. Will it?
Breaking news.
I don't know. But breaking, Zach Hyman is undergoing surgery for an upper body injury and is expected to miss the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Edmonton Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch said in a press conference earlier. It's kind of a big loss there for the Oilers. Big-time role player, that defenseman, right? Zach Hyman, or is he offensive? I can't remember.
I want to say that Hyman's defensive, but
yeah, typically it is. They block a lot of shots and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's a big deal for the Oilers. Will it affect them winning the Western Conference Finals? I don't know. But certainly if they move on to the Stanley Cup Finals against most likely the Florida Panthers, that may play a big role. So just wanted to update everybody on that.
he's a forward.
He is a forward. Okay, they got dry.
Don't quote me. Don't quote us on that.
It's true. That's true. That's a separate shirt. The Hard Rock Battle of the Bets has officially changed. Now it's not picking one or the other. It's picking exact things. Tonight, how many points will the Timberwolves score in Game 5? They give you 5 separate options. So that's a heck of a lot tougher.
Absolutely. But it also helps the payout be better, right?
Yeah, I mean, because now, I think I got a Battle of the Bets last night, didn't I? Hold on. Let me see what I got. No, I thought I did. Maybe they just hadn't plugged it in there yet. Because I've been just picking both and putting $1 on both for the last several days because I don't know why I wasn't doing that before.
And they do not spread the points out, do they?
No.
106 to 110.
That's it. So if it's under or over, you ain't winning anything. But yeah, last night, the Indiana Pacers versus the New York Knicks, each team to score over 119. That $1 won the bonus bet. Page 11, so not too bad. But it hasn't populated my bonus bet in there yet. Because I did use my other bonus bet to hit that 4-leg parlay last night. But the crazy thing is if you get it right, you're also getting 25 to 1 odds as well. So your $1 could turn into 25. So
what number did you go with?
I haven't gone with one yet, but I don't know if there's any method to this other than just getting completely lucky on landing a knee points scenario.
I'm going to go 109.
I think the higher probably, but I mean, there's not a big difference between 110 and 106, but we'll see. I was reading about it when Keith was talking, and it seems like that's kind of the direction they're going to be going. Maybe they were tired of giving out a lot of free bonus bets, which in turn makes them pay out more money. Yes, they're not physically giving you cash, but they are if you hit the bet with your bonus
Absolutely.
bet, which I've actually hit that twice so far. One was the Sepp Straka win, which was fantastic, and then one was that 4-legger last night. So maybe that's why they're mixing it up just a little bit. But yeah, decide which one you want to do. So you're going with 109.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not physically putting a bet on it, but
yeah, 109 makes sense. I'm going to go with 110. I think we're just going to go with what the highest option is for tonight's game. Atlanta Braves continue their series with the Philadelphia Phillies. Unfortunately, feels like Ronald Acuna's return to the Braves was very exciting in the beginning, but certainly now, since he's came back, they have lost 3 out of their last 4 after that 2-0 shutout against the Phillies last night. Afternoon Underdog's going to be a little short again today with that 5:45 first pitch.
Yes, sir. We'll go till 5:43. A little 2-minute commercial break will play, and then we'll get you to the Braves. First pitch, 5:45.
Right into the Braves. That'll also be on the MLB network tonight.
But don't be watching it over there. listen to it right here.
Absolutely. I think it was on the back-to-back games on the old tube last night. I believe it was on TBS, the old school.
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah.
Well, taking everybody back several, 20, 25, 30 years ago with the Braves being on the Turner Broadcasting Network. Good luck to the Atlanta Braves tonight. Again, like David said, you can listen to them right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, sponsored by Bill Berg Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. Also, Best Way Portable Buildings, reliable hydraulic solutions, the best place in town to take a leak, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. Shedeur Sanders, he could be at risk of being cut by the Cleveland Browns before the start of the NFL season, according to reports. The Browns have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, although Deshaun Watson is expected to miss the start of the season as he recovers from surgery on a torn Achilles tendon. I can't really remember a time in sports history where we've had so many Achilles tendon tears. Rodgers, Cousins, Dre Greenlaw, who just tore their Tatum and Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, all popping their Achilles tendons all in what seems to be a short period of time.
Shedeur popped his?
No.
Okay.
I meant to say Deshaun Watson, but I read Shedeur Sanders, which is right in front of me.
So he's in danger of not making the cut.
Roster limits will likely mean cuts. That's poorly written by the U.S. Sun. Roster limits will likely mean cuts have to be made, however, with Sanders at risk. The former Colorado Buffalo star was a 5th-round pick for the Browns in the NFL draft, behind fellow quarterback Dillon Gabriel. That means he has started training camp as the Browns' number 4 quarterback, with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett also ahead of him. According to ESPN reporter Daniel Ofusi, there is now some doubt over whether Sanders will be included in the Browns roster. He said getting drafted behind Gabriel adds an element of uncertainty to Sanders' rookie season. While he was widely ranked ahead of the 3rd rounder before the draft, Sanders will likely begin training camp as the 4th quarterback on the depth chart and won't guarantee a roster spot. Cleveland did trade up to draft him, which should afford him more time to develop, but Sanders likely has a longer pathway to the field unless he completely outplays his competition. The Browns plan to have former 1st-round pick Kenny Pickett and 3rd-round pick Oregon Ducks product Dillon Gabriel splitting the 1st and 2nd team reps during OTAs, per Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot. And the report added that Pickett is the current favorite to lead the team's offense in Week 1 ahead of OTAs and mandatory minicamp, and that it is his job to lose. It's a tough call because we've seen the first practice of organized team activities, but I know Kenny Pickett heads in as a frontrunner to win the starting job at the outset, Cabot wrote. It continues to go on and talk about the reps and all that stuff, but Sanders gets cut. Does he maybe make a move then to another NFL team? And was this all kind of, in the works?
Or does he go to the CFL or the UFL?
Ooh.
Find out next year.
Yeah, find out after they start making roster cuts.
Man,
they got to get down.
I feel like sorry.
No, you're good.
I feel like the ceiling is higher for Shedeur when it comes to his body, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Secondly, is he kind of, they're both kind of pocket passers, but to be over there in that Oregon offense, you do have to have some mobility about yourself.
Yeah.
Not saying that Shedeur doesn't, but he never really showed that at Jackson State or at Colorado on a consistent basis. So for me, I think that the ceiling is higher for Shedeur Sanders more so than it is Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah.
But they drafted Gabriel ahead of Shedeur Sanders. So I guess long run, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting cut. But I feel like is Flacco? Then who is it?
Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
And Kenny Pickett's the project.
Buy Kenny Pickett. And
Kenny Pickett hasn't done anything.
Keep the other 3 guys.
Yeah. We'll see.
And roll with Joe Flacco. Start that way.
Yeah.
And don't backtrack going or don't start with the young guy and then go to the old guy. Start with the old guy. If that doesn't work out, then throw the youngins to the wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and what if he gets cut? What if New Orleans comes calling? What if Pittsburgh comes calling? What if that was kind of in the background, so to speak? Obviously, neither one of them drafted him, but if you pick him up as a cut player, you don't have to pay him as much money.
It's not like he was getting paid a whole bunch anyways.
True. That signing bonus of $447,000 there from the Cleveland Browns. Do you think?
I mean, I would love that. I would love $447,000.
I mean, and obviously,
$47,000 would be nice.
Just give me $47 and I'll be happy.
Amen, brother.
But I mean, obviously, he's not hurting for money with this, with the Sanders empire, for lack of a better term. But do you ever think we see Deshaun Watson take another snap for the Cleveland Browns?
Oh, for the Cleveland Browns. The only way I could see that happening is if Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are absolutely worth nothing, and they wasted both of those draft picks. It's one thing to waste a pick on a quarterback that could pan out, right?
Yeah.
But if you do that twice for essentially, I know I just got done saying that I think Shedeur Sanders has the higher ceiling and everything, but both of these guys, if you were to tier the quarterbacks up, would be in the same tier, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? So, if neither one of the quarterbacks don't work out, I could see Deshaun Watson. The Browns are a dumb enough franchise. Sorry, Ohio Brad, but the Browns are a dumb enough franchise to let him. I mean, exactly. They've continued to do this, so I don't know what's going on with that with Cleveland and the Browns, but hey, keep on doing that because it doesn't really matter for the Titans either way. We're not going to be a playoff team this year unless Cam Ward is just...
Cam Ward could be the guy. He could be the real deal.
But what do I always say? Where does it start at? On the defensive side of the trenches, we're all right. And we were pretty dang good defensively last year until the defense started realizing it doesn't matter what we do. Will Levis is going to give the game to the other team anyway.
Right back on the field here in a second.
Right. So, I could see Deshaun Watson playing a snap.
There could be a scenario where it happens. Absolutely.
Should they? Absolutely not.
Just get over it, eat the dead cap, and say bye-bye. Anyway, let's finish with a couple more of these most hated teams in every state for a team from another state. Let's bounce up there to Montana, that has the face there on the west side of the state. Montana hates. I'll give you a hint because this is a tough one. Obviously, there's no pro teams in Montana.
So is it college?
It is college, and it's college football.
And they don't really have... I'll go with the university, or I don't even know if it's University of Wyoming or Wyoming University. Is it a popular college football program or college program in general?
No.
So it's not in the Power Four?
No, definitely not. It may even
Is
be
it North
FCS.
Dakota State?
It's not North Dakota State. Similar, but...
South Dakota State?
No, it's not a Dakota, but a bordering state nonetheless.
Oh, dude, I mean, I don't have the picture of the United States.
I know.
Let's see.
Okay.
Idaho?
Yes, the Idaho Vandals, indeed. You guys both
pretend I was in third grade or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just had to think about it. Flipping on that, Idaho's most hated team is another college team.
Iowa.
No, they do not. It's a big hint. They do not have a football team.
Oh, I'm sure that it's a great hint when I hear that.
Yeah.
When I hear what the answer is, but right now I'm just like,
Perennial basketball powerhouse. That's a big hint.
St. John's.
No. West Coast.
Oh, Gonzaga.
Yes, the Bulldogs, the most hated Idaho team.
Why?
I don't know.
Where's the beef there?
I have no idea, but apparently there's a lot of it. Maybe Bulldogs eat a lot of potatoes, so they're not happy with the Zags. Excuse me, with the Zags. Utah. Are we running out of time here? What? Yeah, okay. All right. We'll kick a couple more of those over to tomorrow. You guys have been listening to the Inside Drive. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4, followed by your Atlanta Braves taking on the Philadelphia Phillies at 5:45. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow.
Celebrating 2 years of broadcasting history.
Told you this would work.
It's the Best of Bay Award